Alright, this is my audience, my family. Hi, class. I'm Michael Boothe. I'm going to be telling you about the history of comic books. Tim Burton once said that anybody who No, I would never read a comic book, which is quite funny considering he started this whole fad of superhero movies with the first Batman movie. All the comic books started in the golden era with Action Comics issue 1, which not only was the first comic, but it was the first appearance of any superhero, Superman, who back in those days only had the abilities of running really fast, being able to leap tall buildings, and being able to stop bullets with his chest. After Superman came the Flash, who was the first superhero that only had one ability. Before the Flash also was Captain Marvel, Green Lantern, a couple others, but they all had multiple super abilities. A little known fact is that Superman wasn't the most popular superhero during the Golden Age. It was Captain Marvel, who got his abilities from 6 Greek heroes, and was also the only comic book that grossed several $1,000,000 in every weekly issue. 1.3 million, to be exact. Also during the Golden Era, we have the appearance of the Sidekick, who was a thing that didn't exist during the comic strips. Sidekicks such as Robin came out and others. Also, we had Batman come out during the Golden Era, who was not a superhero, but he was a masked vigilante that was more of a detective. It was a way to tell detective stories in a more interesting way by adding a caped crusader of sorts. After the Golden Era came the Silver Age, in which came following a brief omission from superheroes after World War II, in which they strung away from superheroes and went into westerns and romance and sci-fi and stories of that nature. But the superhero made a comeback with Flash being the first superhero to come back out into the Silver Age. Also during the Silver Age, they conquered real issues of everyday life. Starting with Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics was the first to have superheroes that had genuine life problems. They suffered from depression, drugs, they had family issues such as the Fantastic Four. They constantly had issues getting along. They also were more influential in things, in social issues of the time, such as the Civil Rights Movement, where you had comic books like X-Men, which was a complete metaphor on the Civil Rights Movement, or things like the Black Panther, which was the first minority superhero to have his own comic book. After the Silver Age, we went into the Bronze Age, which had more adult themes, and social issues and current affairs were not just a part of the comic book anymore, but more the actual theme of the comic books. The artistic styles that were out during the Bronze Age are the ones that are most recognizable today when we think about characters as like Superman and Spider-Man, and that iconic image was the image that came out of the Bronze Age. And now we're in the modern age, also known as the Dark Age, because the comic books that have come out in the last 20 years have been of more of a dark nature. They have been experimenting a lot with psychosis and drugs and all sorts of really deep issues and stories in comic books today. Also, the emergence of the anti-hero came out during this age, which is things like Deadpool and the Punisher and superheroes of that nature that aren't really heroic, don't always do the right thing, but they always do it for the right reasons. So, as you can see, comic books have greatly influenced our popular culture, with thousands of people going to comic book conventions every year, and it being part of our everyday language. Who hasn't heard anybody say things like, I'm no Superman, and things of that nature? Well, in conclusion, comic books have greatly influenced our popular culture. And thank you.